So we have a disclaimer. This video does not offer medical advice. Please stop any activity that causes pain or difficulty breathing. If that happens and persists after you have stopped, please seek medical attention. So hi, I'm Annie Weisbrod. I'm part of the Shine Yoga Teachers Collective here in Cincinnati, Ohio. We're filming some classes during this time when a lot of people are practicing at home. So we're going to begin reading a description of what this class series is about. It's called Empowered and Embodied Yoga. I've been teaching yoga for almost 20 years and have designed this class over several years. This class is intended for advanced beginner, intermediate, or adept yogis. And the key thing here is that it might not be effective for people that are unfamiliar with safe pose alignment. But in this kind of class, we explore a variety of practices to improve our physical, emotional, mental, and intuitive systems of the body. So the approaches are science-based. I am a PhD scientist. We also integrate mindfulness principles, focused attention meditation, and experiential learning through slow movement, breathing, and prana energy practices, and then perceiving our physical, emotional, and mental patterns and responses to these practices. We're going to use some easy to moderately difficult poses today. It is critical throughout your practice to practice deep breathing. We have a separate video to help introduce people to what that means for deep, deep breathing practices. We also are going to be practicing grounding cord today in this video. This is the first in a series of maybe 5, maybe 7 different classes that focus on these different basic energy practices that can be used during a regular yoga practice. We find it very effective, and that's why we've designed the classes to work in this way. Okay, so we'll get started. I'd like to also mention I have some friends here, Ality, Anne, and Rob, and Felicia is off camera today. But it's really easier for me to be able to teach to live people, and all of us are healthy. So let's start off with what is your grounding cord, because that's going to be the focus of our practice today. And so when we are focusing during the movement, the mind's eye is going to keep going to this subject. So this deep diaphragmatic breathing, and then the subject of the grounding cord. So what is that? So this practice of grounding helps us center and balance the body. And that enables us to feel more safe, more secure, more supported just throughout life as well as in the practice. So being grounded helps us detect a little more easily what's really going on, both within us and then outside of us. It is a critical skill for increasing consciousness, awareness, and really the foundation for a lot of growth practices. So you can practice grounding in multiple ways. This way that we'll demonstrate today of the grounding cord is one of the most basic, and I think really the most effective, and all of us have been using this now for almost a year quite effectively. So when I describe, we'll start with a meditation, then we'll go into some movement practice, then we'll end in Shavasana. But as we go through that, you can think of this grounding almost like you're a tree and you've got your taproot going down into the earth. And then, of course, trees are not only pulling nutrients up, from earth, soil, minerals, water, it also releases stuff back down. So it's a two-way channel that goes down into the earth and comes back up. In some practices, this is also called earthing, but we're going to call it a grounding cord. Okay, so we'll get started with that. One thing I did want to point out for folks, if you don't already have it, make sure that you've got a mat, 2 blocks, and a blanket, because we will use those throughout class. Even if you don't normally use blocks, I do recommend it because we want to have more space in the joints, whether it's shoulder joints or hip joints. As we move, there's better energy flow when your joint has a little bit more space. If blocks are not high enough for you, you can also use a chair, a table, a bed, a couch, just to put your hand on something. It is important for you to feel stable, physically stable as you move through the different practices. Okay? So with that beginning, we will move to the mat. So we're starting with our meditation. So sitting with your spine upright, the seat firmly on your cushion, probably on a bolster or a blanket, knees down. Just breathe. Just find your breath. For a lot of people, it's helpful to close their eyes, but you don't have to. You can also keep the eyes open and just look at the floor in front of you, and you'll use the mind's eye, this turning inward, pratyahara in yogic traditions, is turning inward to sense what's going on inside. So just breathe. And then bring your mind's eye to the inside of your hips. So where my hand is here on my lower belly, below my belly button, almost on the pubic bone, my other hand on the sacrum in the back. So between the hands, you have a lot of flesh there, nesting into the bones of your pelvis. Between, again, the sacrum, the lower part of your spine, and the pubic bone. So bringing the mind's eye here. You can feel the pressure of the hand in the front, the hand in the back. And a couple inches, 5 or 6 centimeters between the very center, under the skin, inside the organs, your bladder, reproductive organs, colon, lower intestine. So here, just look around with the mind's eye and feel what's there. Now imagine there's a sphere. It can be any color or texture, any size. Just imagine a ball. Good. And with that sphere, imagine it starting to turn. You can go in any direction. And as it starts to turn, it starts to drop through the body, through the floor, through the foundation of the building that you're in, or the seat. And it continues to drop into the soil, the water, the bedrock. And as that sphere continues into the ground, it reaches out, it can expand, it can merge, it can swirl. And this image is what we call the grounding cord. So throughout class today, you're going to breathe deeply, and we're going to keep coming back to the mind's eye focused attentively on this image of the grounding cord. From inside the lower part of your body into the earth. And continue to take deeper breaths. For those that know Ujjayi breathing, come into Ujjayi. That grounding cord continues. Keep imagining, feeling, detecting that grounding cord as you take deeper breaths. Breath in, the spine extends. And breath out. We settle, we allow that grounding cord to reach deeply down. We're going to start to move. Just pick your arms up, move them however you wish. You can move to the sides, the front, the back. Deep, full breaths. So all of our movements are led by the breath. The breath comes in, and there's some movement, there's some extension, and then breath out, and there's another, sometimes very subtle movement, but there's absolutely the grounding with that breath out. Let's start by moving the head, drop the head over to one side, roll the head forward, just explore the neck. Breath in on one side, breath out as you roll. Breath in, breath out. Just feel the neck. And starting to move the spine more. Bring that rolling through the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Just leaning to one side, rolling forward, and then back again. With your breath. We're looking for a rhythm to the movement. You can start to bring the arms in. You can reach overhead. You do what feels good. You can go side to side, for example. One hand on the floor, one hand over, but you're moving the spine. So yes, your arms are moving, your hands are moving, they're expressing. That air comes in, and as if it could go through the arm, to the palm, to the fingers. But the movement is led by that breath. You switch sides, work yourself however you want to move. This is a practice where we play. We play with the body, with this breath, and this focus on the inside. So let's come forward if you haven't already. Coming forward, coming back, breath in, arch and lean back. And perhaps it's a breath out and you come forward. But just moving back and forth. And if you want to go more slowly, go more slowly. Go with your breath. And we're going to release and shift onto hands and knees. Knees right under the hips, toes turned under, hands wide, fingers under the shoulders. Come into Virabhadrasana, cat-cow. Perhaps it's a breath in. We roll the shoulders back, lift through the head, open up the hips. Breath out, we tuck and curl. Couple more. Deep, full breath. And then coming into a hip circle. So rotating through the shoulder joints, through the hip joints. Big circles. You get kind of slippery, snake-like, juicy through the hips, through the shoulder joints, with the breath. Remember to switch directions at any time. So you rotate in both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. Just waking up through the joints. into down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hands stay shoulder distance apart, big wide fingers. Feet are hip distance apart. And we're just going to play around. Bend your knees. Bend one knee, bend the other, bend both knees, coming up onto your toes, back down toward the heels. Move around. Move through the spine, move through the knee joints, ankle joints, shoulder joints, wrist. Use the breath. Breath in, there's a movement, an extension. A breath out, and there's a settling. Deep, full breath, Ujjayi. Walking the feet forward to your hands, Uttanasana, forward bend. A lot of us use blocks here to give more space through the hips and through the shoulders. We're going to rock on the feet, forward and back. You can go side to side. Let's play around with the spine and the hip joint. Breath in, extend, half forward bend. Check the alignment of your neck, long straight spine. With that breath out, we fold toward full forward bend, Uttanasana, alternating breath in to half forward bend, breath out, full forward bend. Deep, full breath, Ujjayi. Move your feet, your shoulders, your head to stretch the neck. Eventually bending your knees, hands to your thighs, and we're going to roll through the spine to come in and up. Breath in. Hands together, come down, breath out. Standing breath, reach with the arms, breath in. Release, breath out. Continue with Ujjayi and check in. So just starting that warm up. Find your spine. Breath in, lengthen. Relax the knees, soft knees. We're careful that the legs are not locked, the arms are not locked. We want that flow through the body. Breath in, lengthen the spine, get taller through the head, through the tailbone. And then ground. Remind yourself of that grounding cord image. The breath in reaches. The breath out grounds. Imagine that grounding cord establishing your connection deep into earth. Breathe in, reach up. Flat back down, pivot right at the hip joint, Uttanasana. Breath out. 3 breaths. Blocks to either side of your feet, right leg back, high lunge. So in our lunge, we have this knee right over the ankle, blocks on either side. Check that your blocks are on your mat, under your shoulders. This is where you have the most support. We should feel stable. Feel the left foot, the right foot on the mat. Grounding cord. So from that flesh in the hips, feeling that grounding cord anchor you into the ground. This left arm, if you're feeling stable, can come off the block. And move the arm. So we're going to move the spine, the shoulder joints, the hip joints across all three planes of movement. When we come side to side from the hip, wrapping forward to the head, this is the frontal plane to the side. When we sweep the arm down toward the floor and then up past the head, this is the sagittal plane, rotating the joint through this front to back, up to down plane. And now the rotation, transverse plane through the shoulder joint. Open up and twist a little bit, come back down. You can bend the elbow, breath in perhaps with your lift, breath out, calm down. And release. Blocks move forward, hands under your shoulders, coming into a knee plank. Breath in, lengthen the spine, roll the shoulders back. And breath out, settle, relax a bit. Allow the body to let go. Release through that grounding cord. Release whatever it is through the hands, through the knees, through the feet, into the ground. I'm going to lower slowly, keep the elbows close to the rib cage for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lengthen the legs back. Reach back, lots of space for the hip flexors. Interlace the hands behind the back. The breath comes in, we lift. Breath comes out, relax. Relax through the hips, the legs, the feet. That's just laying there. No need to tighten it or work on it. Just lifting the back with the breath in and the breath out. The hips, the legs are grounded, offering this stable foundation. And release. Pressing up through a knee plank, breath in. Breath out, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Deep Ujjayi breath. As always, you're welcome to move around however you wish here. Go with the breath. Go with how your body wants to move. This is not a static practice. And it's important to listen to your body, explore how it moves, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, and of course don't do that if it doesn't feel good. But play a little bit. Lifting your right leg, reach forward into lunge. Blocks on either side, long extension of the back with that breath in. Really reach, tailbone extends toward the heel, as if you had a long piece of elastic pulling forward through the top of the head and reaching back past the heel. And ground. Ground through the feet, right foot, left foot, and then your grounding cord. Imagine that cord again, tethering you down, a nice, clear anchor offering safety and support. Right arm comes up and move your arm. You're playing with the arm. You can go side to side. Top of the head sweeping back toward the hip. Frontal plane. Sagittal plane down to the floor and back up. And then transverse plane, rotate through the shoulder joint. Maybe you twist a bit. And keep focusing. Deep breath, ujjayi, with the movement. And that grounding cord. It's still there. Release, stepping forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. Hands on blocks for many people. If you don't have blocks, again, you might have hands on a chair or on a bed or a table, or maybe your knees are bent and your hands are on your thighs. Breath in, lift, the spine extends. Breath out, fold. And as you're ready, hands to thighs, bend your knees, roll up. Breath in. Release down. And standing breath. And check in. Just feel the body, feel what's moving inside. What feels good, what maybe is tight or has resistance. Whether that's physical, like in a joint, or perhaps in the breath or the belly. Check for any pain and see if the breath can release that. The loosening can release that. And then direct any of that down through the grounding cord. Just imagine that flowing, whatever it is, loosening like little particles and comes down. Returning that to the earth. Breathe in, reach up. And then fold, Uttanasana. And 2 breaths. Continue to release the knees, soft knees. As you're ready, left leg reaches back, high lunge to begin. Some people may put a pad under their knee. If you've had any knee issues, please use a pad under the knee. We're coming into low lunge, Anjaneyasana. You're going to move the blocks so that they are under your shoulders. For some people, they may put a block under the hip here and put the hand onto the leg to offer more stability. It's important to feel stable. For some people, this can be a balanced pose. So here, ground through the feet. Feel the feet spiral down. Feel the grounding cord. Imagine that. Cord deeply extending. Maybe hundreds or thousands of feet or meters down into the earth. The hips are moving forward and down so that you're stable. Again, as you wish, keep the hands on the blocks, or maybe the right arm moves to your leg. For those that feel stable, you'll take the left arm up and just reach however you feel you want. Could be forward, could be to the side, could be up. If you want, you can curl, you can hold the head. Let hips go forward and down. Use the grounding cord to stable. Two more breaths. And release. Hips shift back. We're going to flex the front foot. So for a lot of people, the hands are going to stay on the blocks. Again, check that the blocks are under your shoulders for most support, for most stability. Some people will be high on the blocks or have an arm on a bed or a table. Some who are more limber may have fingers on the floor. Flex the foot, open up all your toes. Breath in, extend the spine, reach through the spine as if you were pulling the elastic in both directions, through the tailbone, through the top of the head. And ground, breath out. Grounding cord extends down. And release. Coming forward, we're coming to the inside of the front foot. So you're going to probably move the right foot over a bit to the right side, hands on the inside of the leg. Breath in, extend the spine. Breath out, settle. Some people are more limber and they can bend the elbows. Some folks may have elbows, forearms on a block. Other people may come fully to the floor. If you're on blocks, you can interlace the hands or have them flat, palms down. Breath in, extend the spine long, keep the knee close to the shoulder. Relax. Feel that left hip joint. Release closer to the floor. Right hip joint releases closer to the floor. Grounding cord engages. Right hand comes to your leg. Reposition your right foot. Turn the toes out to enable you to twist. Your back foot, the toes are still tucked under. You can just gently press and start to twist the spine. Breath in, extend. Really breathe. Important to keep breathing. And then with that breath out, settle. Relax the hip down a little more. You are always welcome to play with an arm. So perhaps the right arm does come up, perhaps it moves to help you twist a little more. But that's not necessary. You can also just stay on the leg. And release. Coming into a knee plank or a full plank, Kumbhakasana. Feet are hip distance apart, hands shoulder distance. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen the spine. Breath in, reach, extend the spine. Breath out, relax, settle, let go. Ujjayi. As you're ready, lower down from your knee plank or your full plank for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lengthen the belly forward, chest forward. Give yourself more space through the hip. Fingertips come off the mat. Breath in, the back lifts. Breath out, relax down. play around. This is a wide Bhujangasana Cobra. Then roll one shoulder, roll the other shoulder. Imagine what a snake looks like and moves like. Cobra pose is not static, we're moving with the breath. There's a rhythm. You're always welcome to move your hands around. You can come into a regular Bhujangasana with the hands closer to the rib cage if you wish. You're welcome to roll side to side if you wish. Stretching the spine. Stretching, moving through the shoulder joints. Toes turn under through a knee plank or a full plank. Breath in, push up. Breath out, down dog. And settle. Breath in, extend the spine. Breath out, let go, soften. When that breath in, you can imagine those lungs getting more full, more expansive inside the rib cage, which just naturally pulls the shoulder joints farther apart, farther away from each other. Broadens the chest, broadens the back. And relaxing through the knees. Bend the knees a little bit. You can bend them a lot if you want. But lengthen the spine and ground. Wherever your mind creates a ground, like a root, let that happen. Just notice where it is. Could be through a joint like your shoulders, or the knees, the hands. And release. Coming on to the knees. Toes stay turned under. For a lot of us, we need to pull the little toes forward. And then sitting it down onto the heels, stretching the feet. For some people, like if you're a runner or a cyclist or just stiff in the legs, you may need to lean forward. You can put fingers on the mat. Breath in, spine extends. Breath out, ground. Imagine that grounding cord, mind's eye to that sphere. And notice its size now. It's probably bigger. Maybe it has a more noticeable color, and if there's no color, it's fine. Notice how it's swirling or turning. Good. Nice. Release. We're going to flatten the feet out and sit back again. You can move the feet. Just make sure your second toe goes straight back. For a lot of people, it will be better to sit on a block. Breathe. Practice this breath in, extension, breath out, release through the hip joints, belly. Let all of that seep through the grounding cord into earth. And release. Stepping forward with your left leg. Starting off just in your full high lunge. First, just lengthen, extend. And find the spine. Find the grounding cord. And as you're ready, bending your right knee, coming into low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Reposition your blocks to be under the shoulders. Find your best balance. Move the feet around so that you can be standing on that wide plank between your left foot and your right knee and your right foot. And grounding cord goes down. Allow the hips to sink forward and down. Be stable in the base first. As a reminder, you can always put a block under the hip if that feels better, or to put your hand onto your thigh. You're welcome to just stay here and breathe. Breath in, the spine extends. Breath out, we're grounding. Some people may lift the left arm and start to play. To the side, to the front, to the back, perhaps the hands behind the head. What we're playing with is using breath. Breath comes in, extend the spine. Breath comes out, and we ground. Release. Hips shift back. Hamstring stretch. Reposition your feet. The foot is flexed. Your toes are open. Open up all the toes. Breath in, the spine extends. Breath out, settle. Remember that you do what works best for your body. So some people will have the blocks at the highest length, or even an arm on a bed or a table to provide stability. Others may be coming onto the fingers. Breath in, extend. Breath out, allow that left hip joint, the grounding cord, the right hip joint to release. Let go, settle down. Releasing, coming forward. Hands on the inside of your left foot. And you can be up on the hands. Breath in, long, straight spine. Breath out, settle. As you wish, you can bring forearms onto the block or onto the floor. Keeping the left knee close to the shoulder, breathing in, extend, lengthen the body, lengthen the spine. Tailbone reaches toward the heel, leg reaches back. Full, long spine. And relax. Allow the heart to soften. The flesh inside the hips to soften. Belly to soften. Deep, full breath. And ground. Reposition your left foot. Hand comes to your leg, so the foot may come out to the side. Breath in, extend the spine. Perhaps there's a rotation to twist. Some people may take that left arm into the air and move it around to help move the spine. Allow the breath to move through the body. Open up between the shoulder joints. You're broadening between the shoulder joints. as you twist. Release. Unwinding yourself and stepping forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. Three breaths here, whatever you want. It could be alternating between the half and the full forward bend with your breath. Maybe it's just hanging. Allowing the spine to release closer to the floor. Bending your knees, breath in, roll up. Standing breath. And check in. Notice where you grip. Release the knees. Allow the shoulders to hang back behind you. Feel the space between the shoulder blades. And allow that back side of your heart, back side of your lungs to get a little more loose. Notice where you're storing tension. It could just be a spot, or it could be a big area. With conscious mind, bring that awareness to that spot. And just say release. And ground. We're going to add in another imagery practice using this idea, this image of rooting like a tree, of having nutrients come from the ground, but also are releasing into it. So in this practice, we're going to do standing breath. So from the outside, it looks like we're just moving our arms. But from the inside, where you're focusing, this image, this concept where you are pulling nectar, precious nutrients from the ground through the bottoms of your feet, your arch, through the inside of your legs, into the hip, across this whole lower area. And then with that breath out, that goes down the grounding cord between your legs. So you have this looping, the image of looping. So let's just try it a bit. Breathe in, reach up. Pull through the feet, through the legs. Just imagine that coming up. And breathe out. It goes down through the grounding cord. Let's do that 3 times. Good. We're going to move right into a similar toggle. Breathe in, reach up. Pulls through the body. Breathe out, forward bend. Breathe in, come up again. Pull through the body. All the way through. Breathe out, descend. We're going to do this a bunch more. Breathe in through the body, lift it through, and exhaust, release that back down into the ground. At your own pace. It could be slow, it could be fast. 2 more. As you're ready, stay down in Uttanasana. And feel what happens in the lungs, in the grounding cord, any sensations in the body. Sensations can be physical, emotional, mental. And ground. Left leg reaches back. We're going to pivot into a side angle pose. Please line up your feet so you don't hurt your sacroiliac joint. So this heel is in line with the back arch. So right heel in line with the left arch. Let's come up and forearm onto your thigh. So first we'll just start off flat. Right hip joint moves forward. Left hip joint stacks on top. Just get really long. Breath in. Extend. Feel your feet. Anchor through both feet. Grounding cord, anchor through the grounding cord. That's dropping straight down. You can have little tether lines if you want, coming out of the right hip joint, left hip joint. You can move the left arm. The left arm can do whatever it wants. It can come behind the body, perhaps it's just behind the back or is on the left leg. It can be straight up. The arm can be over the ear. If it's over the ear, palm faces the floor, reach through the spine, open up between the shoulder joints. Breath does that. Get really long, extend with the breath in, ground with the breath out. And play with the arm, it doesn't have to stay in any one particular location. And release. We're going to pivot the hands to the ground, pivot your right foot to face forward. We're coming into Prasarita Padottanasana, a forward fold and a straddle. Release the knees, soft knees. Put your hands wherever you want. They can be on the feet, on the floor, they can be behind the back. Allow the spine to hang. It's important to bend the knees. Deep, full breath. Release. We're going to walk the hands over to the left leg. Bend your left knee. So stretching the inside of the right leg. Check that both feet are down. Extend the spine. Give yourself a nice, long, flat back. Breathe in, extend. Breath out, ground. Feel the grounding cord. Imagine that coming into the soil. And switch sides. Walking the hands to the right. Use the arms to support you. So this right arm is up against the right leg to give yourself added stability. Breathe in, extend. Breath out. Let go. Release the tension in the hip. Release. Walking your hands back to the front. And plank. always be on your knees or on your toes. Long spine, deep breath. Ground. Let's lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reaching the feet back. Salabhasana, locust pose. Hands interlaced behind your back. Put the other finger on top if you did that in your forward straddle. And here we're playing. Breath in, you lift. Oh, breath out, you sigh. Ground. And release. Through your knee plank, breathe in, push up. Down dog. Breath out. Find a way to soften. Feel, sense, imagine that sphere inside the flesh of the pelvis. And allow that to release down through that cord into the ground. We're going to pick the left leg up, come into a twisted dog. So 3-legged dog. Check that your weight is evenly balanced between the right and left hand, right and left shoulder. You can move forward a bit if that helps to get that balance to begin. Reach the foot all the way to the ceiling. You're twisting through the hip, twisting through the lower back. You can bend the knee so the foot comes behind you. You can turn your head and look underneath the armpit to help with that turning through the spine. And release that side. Switch sides. Right leg up. Again, balance the top, foundation of the body. Feet, extend, twist, bend the knee. Breath in, lengthen the spine. Balance between the arms. And breath out, ground, settle. And release, right leg to the floor. Left leg steps forward. Coming into Parsvakonasana, your side angle pose on the left side. Again, please check that your heel intersects the back arch. Starting off, just ground. Find stability. Feel both feet on the mat. Allow yourself to anchor through the right foot and the left. And then grounding cord. As if that's like a tether that holds a big circus tent down. Like really connecting you in. Then the right arm can move. Again, you're welcome to put it behind the back. Reach to the left leg. Extend the spine. It can come straight up. Broaden with the breath. The breath fills the rib cage in the back, the sides. You can put the arm over the ear, palm facing the floor. And breathe. Breath in, extend. Breath out, settle. And release. Stepping forward, Uttanasana. Roll up. Standing breath. And just check in. Notice that feeling of balance or centeredness that's different from before. So this practice not only of moving through poses, moving through asana, we're using this technique, pratyahara, turning inward, becoming aware of what's being communicated in the body. And we can play with that. Using this deep breath, using this grounding. Release again. Release through the shoulders. Release through the back. Release the belly. Release all the stuff on the inside. As if it could just go down the drain of that grounding cord. Good. Breathe in, reach up. Keep the arms up. Switch weight onto the right leg. Open your eyes if your eyes are closed. Pick up your left foot. You can do a tree pose or any other pose. So you could have a foot on the calf, a foot up on the thigh. You can just dangle your leg in front of you. Place your arms wherever you want. They could be down to the sides. You could put a finger on a wall. It can be above your head. We're going to reach this left leg back, coming into a lunge with control. Good. We're going to pivot, coming into warrior two. Check your foot alignment. Front heel intersects the back arch. We're coming into warrior two. Let's start in the middle. So arms might be down or up, but find your balance in the middle. Stability and ground. Then open the arms. Relax the shoulders down. You can always play, right? Always play. Release, arm comes up. Pivot your foot forward and fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Bend the knees, hands to thighs, flat back up. Big breath in, reach. And release. Turning to face the front of your mat, reposition your foot and step forward. Coming back to a safe place on the front of your mat. Breathe in, reach up. Open your eyes, shift weight onto the left foot, pick up the right. Coming into your tree pose or anything else. Breathe. So with this deep breath, we're extending the spine, Relaxing the rib cage, allowing that diaphragm to move fully, and we're grounding. Feel that grounding cord, maybe even bigger. Maybe it's as big as your hips, and that goes straight down into the floor. Reach the right leg back, lunge. Reposition coming into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Check your foot alignment. Start in the middle. Find your center. Find that ground. Equal weight between right and left feet. Rib cage, hips stacked. Ears stacked. Breath in, lift your arms. Breath out, bring the arms down and wide. And breathe. Play as you want. Release, leg straightens, pivot the foot, one more time, interlace the fingers behind the back, and fold. Deep, full breath, allow the head to hang. For those that are more advanced yogis, you're welcome to put your hands in front and come up into some form of a headstand. Release. Walk your hands to your left foot. Plank. Last one. And lower. Oh. Come, roll, sit on your bum. So we're going to do a little bit of hip stretching and then we're done. So let's take one leg straight up in front. Let's start maybe with, I guess all of us are in the same direction. So left leg in front, right leg on top. And breath in, extend the spine. And breath out, ground. So here we're starting to ground more. That you may feel the ankle grounding, the knee, back of the knee grounding, the right and left hip joints grounding, the grounding cord grounding. Maybe the grounding cord has gotten wider, taller, and it now encompasses everything here, and it's grounding. So if this is not much of a stretch for you, lean forward, keep the back straight. So we're leaning the belly button toward the shin. Long, straight spine. Breath in, extend. Breath out, loosen, soften. And ground. Release. Foot comes onto the floor and we're going to twist. So you're going to hold on with the opposite hand and turn. This other hand is behind you on the floor. I sometimes put my hand on the belly to help the belly turn. You can hook with the elbow or over with the arm. All of these are possibilities. But we're twisting. Find the lower spine, find your belly button. Come inside the body from the belly button. It's coming into that sphere of where you begin grounding. From this point, turn. And then walk up the spine. Turn a little bit each vertebra. Deep breath. Switching sides. Breath in, extend. Breath out. Perhaps you settle forward. Again, it's the belly button that moves toward the shin so that we bend in the hip joint rather than the low back. Extending the spine and then relaxing. The ankle, the back of the knee, the right hip joint, the left hip joint, the grounding cord, all reaching down through soil, water, bedrock, and deeper. And release. Foot comes onto the floor and twist. Again, you can hold on with the opposite hand, the crook of your elbow, or the arm can come over. All are options. Breath in, extend the spine long. Find the belly button, your navel. Come inside the body to the inside of your lower spine. Start to twist. Come up, walk with the mind's eye, the inside of the spine, through the middle, upper back, the neck, and even into the eyes. Deep breath. And release. Unwrapping, coming onto your back. Your choice of back bend today. So it could be a bridge pose, Satu Dandasana. Could be fish pose, Matsyendrasana, or Urdhva Dhanurasana, wheel pose. For a bridge pose, we have the shoulders down, elbows down. Press into the feet and the hips lift. We're going to tuck each shoulder blade under and then extend through the neck. Reach the hips past the knees. Reach the chest. As the air comes in, you just simply expand and broaden. This offers a balloon, a support, like a hot air balloon to the spine as it lengthens. We're keeping the hip flexor soft, the gluteus muscles are soft, we are lengthening and opening. Some people will interlace the fingers under the back to come up with a bit more stability. You're welcome to stay there. For those that are practicing Matsyendrasana, fish pose, the hips stay down, it's the shoulders that will come up. So we grab underneath the hips, weight onto the elbow, and come onto the top of the head. If you have a neck issue, this is not recommended. Pose. Breathe. Open up, expand. Let the breath comes in and open up between the shoulder joints, between the shoulder blades. Bring as much air in to the belly, the back, and expand. For those that are advanced yogis, you can always bring the hands or the feet up with fish pose, but this can be contraindicated for some conditions, so please be careful if you're not used to that pose. And release. Coming flat down onto the back, let's do some windshield wipers. So feet wider than your hips, And just drop the knees over to one side, then the other. Rolling and rocking across the hip. As we started class, all movement originates with breath, and then we add in the grounding cord. So as you move, the breath in originates the movement. Breath out, perhaps it settles or moves again. Your pace. Feel what feels easy, good. And as you're ready, you're welcome to do a happy baby pose. If you feel you want more, inner thigh opening, ground through the sacrum if you choose to do that. Some people may choose plow pose, halasana, with the feet behind the head. Supporting the hips with the hands if you come into halasana. Two more breaths. Coming into Shavasana. Legs open as wide as your mat. Reposition yourself to get a long spine. Really reach. Tuck each shoulder blade under so it's flat. Palms are up, a little bit open so the armpits can breathe, as they say. If you have lower back issues, it may feel more comfortable to put blankets or blocks under your knees. You're also welcome to cover yourself with a blanket or a sweatshirt. So as we're here, ground. Feel the whole body ground. So that grounding cord basis, that sphere, whatever color, texture, temperature, size, let that get bigger. So it goes beyond the physical form. Just imagine that basis, that foundation of support, security that connects you to this planet. It gives us the safety to observe and to open. Allow the whole body to root, like you're a tree. That roots can grow from anywhere. And connect you in to the ground. Let go. take a deep breath. And bring some movement back to the fingers and the feet. And feel this breath. Remember how when we started class, your awareness of your breath, of the inside of your torso, the flesh of the hips, your hip joints, your shoulder joints. And just notice how you feel now. It's okay to have a word or not have a word for it. The point is to be aware. We're going to move over, just roll over to one side. Support your head with your arm, coming into a fetal position. And breathe again. Grateful for this breath. Pressing yourself up, use your arms to help your back stay loose as you come up. So coming into a comfortable seat, long straight spine, and allow the body to settle. Breath in, that spine is tall, like incense smoke, soft and drifting up. And this rest of the body is solid, relaxing and settling down. Place your hands wherever it feels best. Maybe it's on the floor, your legs, your belly, or maybe in different places on the heart, your neck, your face, or prayer. Thank you for making this practice part of our lives, benefiting yourself and all those around you. May we honor this life, this light, the possibility for security, safety, compassion, and openness. Namaste.